Now, if there's one thing to learn from the past 100 years, it's that car companies often got their biggest successes when they took a good thing and made it better, which is just what's happening with the Chevrolet Camaro. Last year, we found the top model IROC Z was the best handling American pony car in our Pocono Raceway comparison. And to make it better, this fall Chevrolet will offer a limited number of IROCs with a 5.7-liter Corvette V8 engine. Right now, ASC is building this convertible version of the Camaro. So let's see how much better can be.
To some people, better can mean tenths of a second, and that can be a pretty big deal if you're a Chevy fan. The 5-liter IROC Z28, as we saw in last year's comparison test, is a few tenths of a second slower in the quarter mile than its nearest competitor, the Mustang GT 5-liter. Naturally, the guys at Chevrolet weren't about to stand by while a Camaro was being blown away by a Ford. The solution was rumbling under the hood of every late model Corvette, a 5.7-liter V8. And it all pretty much dropped right into the IROC. That is, except for the Corvette exhaust manifold and latest aluminum heads. So the IROC gets 220 horsepower. That's 10 less than the Corvette, and 320 pound-feet of torque. Even so, the 5.7-liter still makes 20 horsepower more than the 5-liter, which was detuned a bit for 1986. This engineering prototype didn't have any air conditioning because engineers hadn't yet developed a cooling system for it. But AC will be available in the production models and was part of the reason the older steel heads were used. The 5.7-liter also gets a slightly taller final drive and a stronger rear axle than the standard IROC for a lot more punch. But it does seem a little short of low-end torque, that is, compared to the Corvette. Our time through the traps, 14.5 seconds, with a speed of 95 miles per hour. That's very fast, and just as fast as its arch-rival Ford. 0 to 60 took just 6.2 seconds, and despite the extra power, the IROC had no trouble putting it to the ground. Handling seems even better than before, although there aren't any suspension changes from other IROCs. Otherwise, the 5.7-liter IROC is pretty much unchanged. Production models, by the way, will get a speedometer that goes beyond 85 miles per hour, since the car will do over 140. And like all other IROCs with tuned port injection, the only available transmission now is an automatic. On the outside, there's not even a badge or decal to tell you that this Camaro has something more under its hood. And what price do you pay for the capability to take on unsuspecting Mustangs? Around $500 over the IROC's $12,901 base price. You'll pay a bit more to get an IROC convertible, or any other Camaro for that matter, that'll put the wind in your face. Just add $5,000 to the price of the Camaro you'd like to order. And for that, you get a look that's so integrated, you wonder if the Camaro body was really meant to be a hatchback. It reminds you of a mid-60s Ferrari Spider, and like those cars, the top works manually. In operation, it actually mirrors more closely the new Corvette Roadster. There's a lever under the hard boot cover to release the back of the top. A console button releases the boot itself, and two levers at the windshield release the front of the top. With that done, you fold it all neatly away behind the seat. And with the top down, you'll find that this is one of the better convertible conversions, at least as far as body shake is concerned. There isn't much. The conversion is done by an outside contractor, ASC in Livonia, Michigan. They designed the Cavalier convertible as well as the Corvette. But in the Camaro's case, ASC works through Chevy dealers rather than the factory. ASC will convert Camaros for any Chevy dealer that wants to sell them. As part of the conversion, ASC adds galvanized supports to the underbody and rocker panels. They don't change the suspension, and surprisingly, they don't add any weight to the car. The weight of the added parts is offset by the loss of the Camaro's heavy glass hatch. While there really aren't many problems with this conversion, one of them is getting into the always tight Camaro back seat. That's hampered by seat belts you have to crawl under or over. And since the back seat room was left untouched, luggage space is reduced to a deep well suitable only for soft bags. However, with the top up and the rear seat folded, the trunk opens into the passenger space, so skis are easy to haul. We were impressed by how ASC made convenience aspects of the original Camaro fit in with the conversion. The power hatch closing system works just as well with the new trunk lid. and the hardtop's hatch release switch was simply rewired to work with the boot cover. Oh, there is one other warning. If you're interested in a Z28 convertible with a 5-liter twin-port injected engine and actually have a hand in ordering it, go for the fatter 60 series tires. The standard 215/65/15 tires made it virtually impossible to make even a moderately fast getaway without leaving a lot of tread on the pavement. But the ASC Camaro convertible is a screamer, as is the 1987 Corvette-engined IROC. Together, they make America's best-selling pony car now an even bigger winner.
Next week, we'll have the first of 2 special shows coming up. We'll be updating 5 performance cars, the Dodge Daytona CS, the Ford Escort EXP, and the Mustang GT convertible, and 2 sporty Europeans, the Saab 900 convertible and the Maserati Spider. We'll see you next week on Motor Week.